What's up, guys? Welcome back for episode 2 of Taming the Narcissist, Gaslighting 101. We're just going to go over some simple red flags and aspects of gaslighting, how to know if you're being gaslit, how it's abusive, and how it's no good. For those of you, if it's your first time, I welcome you. My name is Joe. I'm an entrepreneur, investor, business, life, and relationship coach. For those of you, if you're back, welcome back. First things first, guys, let's get into the technical definition of gaslighting. Gaslighting is using psychological methods to actually manipulate someone into questioning their thoughts, beliefs, and sanity. Basically telling somebody, I know you think you heard something, but you didn't actually hear it. You're going crazy, you're insecure, and you have a problem that you need to address. The problem isn't me lying to you. The problem is actually you. That's gaslighting at its finest. That's the most simple form of gaslighting, probably the most common. The term actually comes from a 1938 stage play called Gaslight, where a husband attempts to drive his wife crazy by dimming the lights, which are powered by gas, and then telling her it isn't actually happening, which makes her question her sanity altogether. Is she noticing that the lights are actually dimming, or is she just seeing things and going crazy? That's what gaslighting is going to do. Now, by a technical standpoint, they do say gaslighting is abusive, which I agree. It can be abusive. I think modern day society kind of shuns you from calling somebody out on gaslighting because it's such a taboo type of thing. People throwing around the sociopath term, the narcissist term. But listen, guys, if you think someone's doing wrong by you, you got to call them out on it. Don't let somebody make you feel ashamed, insecure, or bad about yourself by just telling them how you feel. That's the worst thing that they can do, and that's a form of manipulation on its own, and that could be very abusive. Someone chips away at your self-esteem to the point where you get so much anxiety because you don't want to talk to the person because they're going to make you feel like this big when you get done telling them how you actually feel, and your feelings don't matter. So today we're not going to get too deep on it because I don't want to keep you guys too long. We're going to have multiple episodes on this, right? Biggest thing about gaslighting we want to keep in mind is that it questions your sanity, security, and your thoughts. You think that maybe you're starting to hear things, or maybe you're just going crazy. And the other person starts to make you feel like there's something wrong with you because they look at you with so much confidence and say, that's not what I said. And you're like, you ever have that instance where somebody looks you dead in the face and they're so confident in the lie that they're saying that you actually believe them? And it's crazy because it makes you question your own reality. The most common forms of gaslighting, and these are the biggest ones that make you question your sanity. I didn't say that. Pretty sure you did say it because I just heard it. Now, if you get super honest with yourself, you'll know if someone's lying. You'll be like, I could have sworn I just heard that, or I know I just saw that, but this person is saying so confidently they didn't say it or do it. Maybe they didn't do it. No, they did it. You're being gaslit. Extremely, extremely, extremely abusive, especially if it's a repetitive pattern. What your response should say, I know what I heard because I was in a conversation with you. I know what I saw because I was standing there and I'm not blind. And don't be afraid to just put it out there. You're being insecure, you're overthinking it, you're going crazy. That's when it starts to get a little more in depth. If someone's really dropping that on you, first of all, unless they're qualified to call you crazy, they shouldn't be anyway. Because most psychiatrists will actually tell you if someone has some sort of personality disorder, they're not going to tell them because it's too crippling to the after effect of their own self-esteem. Here's another big one too, guys. When someone says, I was going to. Let's say you approach someone and you're upset about something that just recently happened. Maybe a significant other or a parent or a family member kind of came up short, lied to you, said they were going to do something, and they didn't. They went back on their word of some sort. And you want to have a conversation with them and tell them how much it's bothering you. Well, listen, I was going to do it, but all of these factors prevented me from doing it. Bullshit. If you want it, guys, if somebody wants to do something, unless something serious happens to where they can't physically do it, and you should know the difference between fabrication, being honest, fabrication, and them actually genuinely not being able to do something. If they say, well, I was going to, but I was getting to it, but you did it first, that's bullshit. That's gaslighting. That's their way out of it. Remember, guys, these types of people, narcissistic people, when it comes to gaslighting, they never take any sort of accountability. So when something happens and you tell someone how you're feeling, I didn't say that, I didn't do that, and then you really start to put the facts to them, they're going to do the whole spin doctor thing to you, right? It's going to turn into, well, you're going to go down the rabbit trail. And this is what we're going to get into in like 102, 103, to where you really go down the rabbit trail and you start here, it comes all the way back around and hits you again. Well, okay, I did do that, but I did that because you did this. And if you didn't do that, it wouldn't cause me to react that way. So I reacted that way because you did this to me. So it's not really my fault, it's yours. Now, they're not going to say, it's not my fault, it's yours, but they're going to make you feel like, okay, what just happened? I'm telling you something is bothering me, and now I feel like I did something wrong here and you're the victim. That's a spin doctor mentality of narcissism. And a lot of times when gaslighting happens, and certain people that have those narcissistic traits don't want to take any accountability for what they do, one of their first reactions is going to be, let me try to figure out and pinpoint, take the little needle out of the haystack of the one thing that they could have possibly done in a way that I could convince them that this reaction that they got from me, that made me look bad, was justified because of something they did. Now, it's not the truth. They're just going to say that because it's their scapegoat out of taking accountability for anything. And it's going to make you look bad, question your sanity, question your self-esteem, and question your thoughts, which is what gaslighting essentially is. Like I said, guys, if you ever have a conversation with someone and you want to have an honest and open communication in a conversation, you shouldn't come out feeling confused. Whether or not you went in saying, like, I can't believe this person did this to me. I know what I saw. I know what I read. I know what I said. And then you come out of that conversation questioning, like, maybe I didn't see it, maybe I didn't hear it. If you're having those kind of signs, you should be able to be honest with yourself. Are you overreacting? Or do you know for a fact you heard it and this person's trying to convince you otherwise? Because I hate to tell you, if that person's trying to convince you that they didn't say it or did it when they in fact know for 100% fact they did, that's more of a problem than them actually doing it. So take a few minutes to really think about that and think about what you're going to do in the interim. Because if someone's doing this to you, it's just the beginning and it's probably been happening and it's not going to stop. Typically, this behavior just doesn't change because they don't want to take any accountability for themselves. So why should they change for you? Because there's nothing wrong with them. You're the problem, remember? Like I said, guys, this is always an open space. Tell your story if you want. Drop a comment. Leave some feedback in terms to maybe a scenario that you've had. We're going to dive a little deeper into the actual ins and outs of the rabbit trail, how it's worked down with gaslighting, how it starts with you having an honest conversation, how it goes all the way back and it turns out that they're the victim and you're actually the wrong one at the end, how it becomes calculated, extremely manipulative, and how it ties into narcissism. As always, guys, thanks for joining me for another video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out directly. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss another video. Check you on the next one.